Hey, welcome in, guys. Today's Sunday, November 15th, 2020. New World News, I am Casey. Thank you for joining me. Wanted to update you guys, been a couple days, on some of the new restrictions, and this is super important, especially for people watching my channel. There has been a lot of panic buying going on with the rise in coronavirus COVID-19 cases. If you haven't been watching it the last few days, states are getting all-time highs, including Washington State, which was the first one to have those infections and those nursing home ones way back in February and March before California took it over and locked down. So Washington State's governor, in fact, Jay Inslee, I believe is his name, Inslee, said in a news conference today that they have gone into new coronavirus restrictions to begin effective Monday at midnight, which is tonight in just a few hours. I'm recording this video on Sunday night, so just in a few hours. It's going to begin Monday, midnight Monday morning, not tomorrow night, now. And here is the new restrictions for Washington State, and there's also been restrictions in a half a dozen other states, so I'll cover a few of those as well. Under the new restrictions, indoor social gatherings with people from outside the home are prohibited. No one in your home except the people that live in your home. Unless those participants quarantine for 14 days or quarantine for 7 days with a negative COVID-19 test no more than 48 hours prior. So they are now telling you who you can and can't have in your home without a test. Outdoor gatherings limited to 5 people, period. 5 people, that's it. Restaurants and bars will be limited to outdoors only, no indoor restaurants with capacity limits and to-go service. In-store retail, including grocery stores, limited to 25% capacity. It doesn't say the limits on capacity for outside restaurants and bars. I'm going to guess it's similar, 25 or 50%. Does not say. Religious services, limited to 25% of indoor capacity or 200 people, whichever is less. Unconstitutional, Governor. Freedom of religion does not have a number in the constitutional amendment, Governor. Somebody sue the governor. Please come after me for telling him to sue you, because you know what? You deserve it. Unconstitutional, Governor. Unconstitutional. Even in a public health emergency, not allowed. Performances by choirs, bands, and ensembles are also prohibited. Solo performances are okay. Too risky for an indoor choir, says Governor. Additionally, indoor services at gyms, bowling alleys, museums, movie theaters, and other businesses closed. Closing everything. The new restrictions will not impact childcare in K through 12 schools unless the local officials make that determination. So your kids can go to school, it's perfectly fine. We're so scared to death that you can't have church service with all your members, but your kids are free to go to school. They're fine. They're good to go. Let's endanger the kids and not the church members, who, mind you, have a constitutional right backing them. The new restrictions are a reflection of the drastic rise in cases seen in Washington. As of Sunday morning, the state had 127,731, and over 2,500 people have died. Johns Hopkins reporting on those numbers. Inslee cited the coming winter months when gatherings will move indoor, raising the risk of spreading the virus. By reinstating the prevention measures, the governors indicated to hope to avoid an increased strain on hospitals, long-term economic damage, and untold number of deaths. Long-term economic damage, we're going to avoid that by shutting everything down. Such backwards thinking. Think it. Inslee is a Democrat, right? Am I wrong? Member of the Democratic Party. Served in the House of Representatives from 1993 to 95. Again from 99 to 2012. So he served for 93, 94, 95. 3 years. Will he take over for someone? And then again from 99 to 2012, so another 12 years. He was a presidential candidate in the 2020 election. I didn't even know that. And he's just elected to be the governor this year. So 12 and 16 years in the Congress, and in the House of Representatives, excuse me, and now governor for a year. Okay, let's keep going to Washington State was among the first to confront COVID-19. They were. The first case on U.S. soil was confirmed at a nursing home in Washington State in January. By March, they had an outbreak that occurred in a nursing home just outside of Seattle where dozens of residents died. Let's see. The state is seeing the most dangerous spike ever, even back then, he's saying. They had 2,286 new cases yesterday, Saturday. In Snohomish County, just north of Seattle, an outbreak in a long-term care facility over the last 2 weeks has resulted in 94 cases, 53 residents, 41 staff, local health officials said in a news release, and 10 deaths in just the last 2 weeks. That's one death a day almost. She said, adding the state has flattened the curve before, it's time to do it again. We've got to flatten that curve in 14 days, guys. Flatten the curve. We're still flattening the curve 9 months later. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're almost to December. 9+ months later, guys, we're still flattening the curve. So New York City also implementing rolling back restaurants to 10 p.m. with capacities. No social gatherings over 10 people. They're going to come check and knock on your door. In fact, one of the local district Congress people in New York City told the governor, Governor Cuomo, the hypocrite that stresses masks and doesn't wear his, that he is having a gathering of 30 people at his house. His address is public information on Staten Island, and to please come knock on his door. Governor's trying to tell us who we can have over for Thanksgiving. Alabama, at the direction of Governor Kay Ivey, a Republican, the state health officer has amended a safer-at-home order to remain in effect until 5 p.m. December 11th. People over the age of 6 must wear masks in indoor public spaces when using public transportation or when outdoors in gatherings of 10 or more. Non-work get-togethers are allowed, but individuals from different households must maintain a 6-foot distance from one another. Restaurants, bars, and breweries can offer dine-in services, but party size capped at 8. Tables or booths must be placed 6 feet apart or within 6 feet separated by partitions. Hair salons and similar personal care businesses must also keep clients 6 feet apart or separate clients by partitions. Retail stores, gyms are among other businesses that must implement sanitation and social distancing practices. Beaches are open. Patrons must practice social distancing. As of October 2nd, the hospital, nursing, and long-term care facilities are allowed to permit residents to receive one visitor at a time. Republican-ran Alabama. Big senior citizen population in Alabama. Alaska's Mike Dunleavy, Republican, modified a travel mandate that required those arriving in Alaska to show a negative test or agree to be tested on arrival for a cost of $250. Self-quarantine for 14 days is no longer an option for non-residents. Alaska residents returning to the state can opt to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Optional. Critical infrastructure workers are exempt. Previously, Dunleavy permitted all businesses, including restaurants, salons, gyms, museums, and entertainment venues to open at 100% capacity. Arizona's governor, Arkansas, California, here we go, under the direction of Governor Gavin Newsom, our favorite governor, Democratic governor. The health department has issued updated restrictions. Only outdoor gatherings are permitted. No indoor gatherings in California. Forget, guys. No more than 3 households can attend a gathering, and the space must be big enough to allow people to practice 6-foot social distancing. You can only have outdoor gatherings with 3 households, including Thanksgiving. You better eat your Thanksgiving dinner out at the picnic table, guys, and you all better be spread out. Newsom unveiled the blueprint for a safer economy, a plan that outlines coronavirus restrictions during the pandemic. Each county falls into one of 4 color-coded tiers: purple, where the virus is most widespread; red, orange, and yellow, where the virus is minimally widespread. In the purple tier, restaurants can only offer outdoor dining. Retail stores must limit capacity to 25%. Hair salons and barbershops can offer indoor service with restrictions. Gyms, fitness centers can only be open outdoors. Many other non-essential businesses must remain closed, such as nightclubs, theme parks, concert venues, and other businesses that are deemed non-essential. Once in the red tier, step 2, restaurants can resume indoor dining at 25% or 100 patrons, whatever is fewer. Retail stores operating at 50%, indoor at 25%. Counties in the orange tier, bars and breweries that don't serve food are among businesses that can open for outdoor. Counties in the yellow tier, most businesses can reopen but must follow safety precautions. Full list of restrictions at covid19.ca.gov. And Newsom has ordered everyone to wear a face mask in public spaces. Children under 2 and people with certain medical disabilities are exempt. He also signed a bill that requires businesses to report COVID-19 outbreaks to local officials and any employees who have been exposed to the virus while at work. Unconstitutional, Governor. Violation of private health information from that employee. Wrong again. Somebody sue the governor of California while you're at it. So you can roll down all of these states. I'll link this. It's from AARP. Florida, where I live, is on this list. Governor Ron DeSantis, he's a Republican, signed an order lifting most coronavirus-related restrictions and moving the state to phase 3 of its reopening plan. Guys, this was updated. This was updated on November 13th, Friday afternoon, late Friday afternoon. Our governor here in Florida has lifted our restrictions, and we've moved to phase 3 of reopening, under which all businesses can reopen. Restaurants and bars are no longer subject to occupancy restrictions. However, city or county governments can impose an occupancy limit on a restaurant and bar to 50% if the local official can say why the restriction is necessary for public health. DeSantis' order also removes fees or penalties for individuals who do not follow social distancing, including a mask mandate. That order went into effect September 25th. Do you guys see the difference in the states? Gavin Newsom, Jay Inslee, Ron DeSantis. Do we see the difference? Go ahead and Google up the numbers for Florida in October and November, and Google the numbers for the other states and let me know what you find. I mean, you can scroll down these states and it's just a microcosm of this country. Maryland, where I used to live when I grew up, teenager. Governor Larry Hogan, Maryland, a Democratic blue state in the middle of all those blue states, ran by a Republican governor, but he's not a true Republican. Look up Larry Hogan. Rolled back some of the state's reopening plans in response to the spike. Restaurants must restrict dine-in service to 50%, down from 75%. He's rolling them back. Cannot offer buffets. The health department has recommended a cap of 25 people on private indoor and outdoor gatherings. The state is in stage 3. Indoor theaters operating at 50% or 100 people, whatever is smaller. Retail stores and religious centers at 75%. Unconstitutional, Governor, 100% or not at all. You cannot restrict religious services, my friend. Google up Florida's pastor that was arrested and is now suing the state for trillions of dollars. Federal lawsuit that he's going to win. Look it up, Governor. I suggest you look it up quick. Fitness centers and personal service businesses such as beauty salons and barbershops operating at 50% with safety restrictions, of course. Senior citizens centers remain closed. Really? Huh. Previously, Hogan issued a mask mandate requiring people over the age of 5 to wear a face covering in public spaces of all businesses or areas outdoor where social distancing cannot be maintained. Montgomery County Executive Mark Ehrlich, Montgomery County, pretty well-off county, issued an order requiring tighter restrictions effective November 11th. Restaurants and food establishments only get 25% occupancy. Retail stores, 25%. Gatherings of 25 people or over are prohibited, even if you can maintain social distancing. Baltimore City Mayor Jack Young, a complete hellhole of a city, Baltimore. I'm sorry if you live there. I've lived there. I'm allowed to say it. It is. Issued an order limiting indoor and outdoor gatherings to 10 people. Restaurants and food establishments cannot offer indoor dining at more than 25%. I thought it said not at all. Retail stores, indoor recreational, places of worship, also limited to 25%. Mayor Jack Young, unconstitutional. You should go to jail and be sued. You can't restrict religious services. I'm not even a religious person, and I know that. I don't go to church. Sorry, I'm an atheist. Say what you want about me. You cannot restrict it, and I would never in a million years try to restrict it. So anyways, you can roll down these things. I will link the link to AARP. I think this one's interesting. I'll leave you guys with this one. Michigan, on October 2nd, the Michigan Supreme Court struck down orders from Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Democrat. Trump hates her. I think the entire country hates Governor Whitmer. She's terrible. I don't know how she became governor. The Supreme Court of Michigan struck down her order. The court ruled that a 1945 law Whitmer relied on to issue the orders was unconstitutional, and that Whitmer thus lacked the authority for her actions. In response to the ruling, the state health department issued 2 new orders in early October, drawing on another law. On October 29th, the health department extended and modified the order. It capped indoor residential gatherings at 10 people and outdoor residential gatherings at 100. Gatherings at non-residential venues are capped at 500 and 1,000 outside. Wow. Look at the difference. 10 and 25 in some states. Michigan at 500 and 1,000. Unbelievable. Restaurants, retail stores, libraries, And museums must limit capacity to 50%. Individuals 5 and older must wear a face mask. At restaurants, bars, and other social events, parties seated at a single table cannot exceed 6 people. Fitness centers, bowling alleys, ice rinks, similar recreational, limited to 25% and 6-foot social distancing. Workout stations must be maintained and cleaned. Entertainment facilities, including sports arenas, movie theaters, must implement social distancing requirements among members of different households. So, as we look through this list of state restrictions and COVID suggestions, a lot of them just suggestions because they're not laws and they're unconstitutional at that. Why is some of it 3-year-olds and some of it 2-year-olds and some of it 5-year-olds? Does the virus know the difference in your age? Why is it okay for a 5-year-old to wear a mask or not wear a mask and not a 3-year-old in another state? Why is it okay to be 500 people in Michigan but only 5 people in New York City? Why is it okay for some places to open bowling alleys but other places won't open churches? It's got to be the smartest virus in the history of the world, right? Maybe, maybe not. Can anyone explain it to me? I'm going to link it down below, the list of all 50 states and their restrictions. You guys feel free to read some of them. Check out your own state. Come back to the comment section. Tell me what your states are, where you're from, what state you're from, and what their restrictions are. I'll take a look at it again. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me how you think it compares to the rest of the country and how you think the virus knows the difference in these restrictions. I don't know. Maybe you do. I'll leave you guys with that. New coronavirus restrictions coming into play huge. Also, it's causing panic buying everywhere. Stores cleaned out of toilet paper, out of food, out of water, out of everything. Get what you need now, but please don't be a dodo head and panic buy everything and put 10 carts of toilet paper in your aisle. Just please don't do that. It affects the rest of us being able to get the 1 or 2 that we need, right? Be reasonable. Okay, I'll leave the links below. Thank you guys for watching as always. I'll be back again this week with a couple more videos. Good night, everyone.